Hey, Cam.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Pretty good. Oh, I love it.
No charge, little extra advertising, man, no charge.
Many thanks, Kemp, many thanks.
Got it, man.
Hi, guys.
Hey, hey.
You know, we're getting double pay for attending in person. Commissioner Nichols and I are there times two.
Bless y'all.
Zero squared. I don't know. And then is the overhead cam on? I can switch back and forth. Okay.
Are we waiting to see everybody on screen?
Can y'all see me? This is Blair.
Yes.
Yes.
Hey, Blair.
I can't see y'all, so.
This meeting is being recorded and/or transcribed.
Okay, can everybody hear me?
I'm joining by phone.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, looks like we've got Joel on the phone, and Lance was calling in as well. So Lance, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, great. So everyone is here. I'm sure you guys can see Jack and Jolie are attending in person, and Diane will not be attending tonight. Everyone else is either on the phone or on the Microsoft Teams meeting. Okay, so Jack, if you want to call us to order.
Sure. I call the December 21st, 2020 meeting of the Historic Preservation Commission to order. And as long as my glasses do not fog up, we're in business here. I don't know if all of you were had your cameras on when I announced earlier that Commissioner Nichols and I have decided that we're going to increase the pay that we're normally paid twice the normal amount.
So moved. So moved.
Yeah, I think it's at least worth that. I need an approval for the agenda. I'm sure we all have that before us. Is there a motion that we approve tonight's agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
The motion has been made and seconded that we approve the agenda. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed by the like sign? Approval of minutes from the October 19th meeting. Since we did not meet in November, our most recent minutes are from October. And again, I assume everyone has had an opportunity to review these minutes. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? If not, I'll accept a motion that we approve those minutes.
I move, Jacob. To approve.
And a second, please.
Second, Lance.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
The minutes are approved.
Sorry, I put the agenda approval on twice. Just
I think, yeah, we want to make sure that we have the agenda
Yeah.
approved.
spick and span.
Because our January, the regular meeting date of our January meeting would fall on Martin Luther King Day, we need to pick a new date for that meeting.
So typically, when we have a meeting fall on a Monday holiday, we have the meeting that Thursday. And so in this case, that would be Thursday, January 21st. Does anyone have an objection to that meeting date? It would be at 5 p.m.
Great. Do we need a motion to do that? Is there a motion that we reschedule the January meeting for January 21st.
So moved, Camp.
We have a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second, Blair.
Thank you. All in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. We are not going to hear details of the administrative approvals. All that information is available to all of us and to anyone else by going online for that information. Which brings us to the public hearing items. Public hearing for case 604 has been withdrawn, and so the case that we are hearing tonight is case 606, a certificate of appropriateness requested by Frank Evans to build a new house on the existing lot at 1213 Washington Avenue. And Kate's going to present that for us.
Okay, I'm sure you all had a chance to read this, but I'll just take you through the highlights of the staff report, and then Mr. Evans and his wife are both here, and I believe Frank will be presenting after I do. So this is a request for a new single-family residence with a detached garage on the vacant lot at the corner of Washington and North 14th Street, which you should see pictured here. We're doing the overhead cam today, so can everyone see the photo that we're showing?
No.
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 Okay.
Yes, now we can.
Okay, you should be seeing it in the upper left-hand corner, and you can click on that window and pin it to your frame. So if you're using an iPad, you hold it down and pin it, or you can right-click, I believe, and pin it so that you'll be seeing that image. It's a little different than what we've been doing recently because we had some extra exhibits added this afternoon. Okay, so I'll go back to the report. The commission must consider several factors when approving new construction in the historic district. The guidelines dictate that new construction should respect and enhance the visual character of the district through compatibility in location, design, and materials without duplicating existing buildings. Staff did find these plans to be in accordance with the recommendations of the design guidelines. Two things that I'll note that are a little bit different with this house are the use of a stone veneer, and also the front entry is an arched opening when many of the bungalows on the street have a squared off opening, and that was a little bit different. But I don't think that, the commission is well within their right to approve those elements should they find them acceptable. And the guidelines do recommend mixed stone as a material in the historic district. So even though there's not a lot present on that street, it was used in some of the historic buildings in the city. And I'm happy to answer any questions that anyone has about the staff report. I did send you guys an updated elevation that I received from the applicant this afternoon that showed the south elevation with like a little gabled porch. So this is the original elevation you're seeing, which the applicant would prefer this original elevation, but they did send a little porch and front door entry as an option B, should the commission choose it. I actually think that option A meets the design guidelines recommendation that properties are oriented to the street, and right now you have a clear front entry that fronts North 14th Street, whereas this would add a second front entry. The reason I sent it out this afternoon is because I believe the applicant found their new design preferable, but after we had a chance to speak about it this afternoon, they would actually prefer to stick with the original elevation. So we can talk about all that in the discussion later. And then Frank, would you like to come up and speak? So the applicant, Frank Evans, is gonna come up and present.
Thank you, Kate. I am Frank Evans, and This is Sherry Evans, my wife, and Maisel Jurgensen, my counsel and draftsperson, advisor. Appreciate the work that you guys all do. It's very important for the historic district of Oxford. I remember when the bulldozers came in and bulldozed the section down, and no one wants to see that happen again. I grew up in a neighborhood just about like that in Water Valley, and Oxford's always been kind of a second home to me, being so close, and I used to come up and buy my Boy Scout stuff at a little store across from the Square Books, and we used to talk to Maisel about going to the Cream Cup later on, and so then after that we used to go to the Ritz and Lyric Theaters when they still showed movies there, and then finally did my undergraduate work at Ole Miss, and so now we're kind of looking at if you guys will have us here, being a part of the community and living here over on Washington. Kate, one thing.
We're glad to welcome you back to Oxford, and welcome to the commission meeting.
Thank you, sir. Kate, one thing, strike. This house happens to be right, almost directly across the street from the side.
You want me to say that?
Pardon?
You want me to say that again into the microphone?
Yeah, that the house on the screen there now, it has a stone accent. That's right across the street from our proposed site. So we kind of took that, you know, we looked at that in some of the other houses and tried to sort of use some of the elements of construction that were found in them. So that's where, you know, one of the places where we got the stone idea from, and the architect was another place. So any questions, any way we should go with this, Kate?
Does anyone have any questions for the applicant?
Will there be more presentation?
Not if no one has questions.
Okay, let me ask again, repeat what Kate has just asked. Do any of the commissioners have questions about what we've received before the meeting and the illustrations, the renderings that are on the screen?
And unless there is any discussion by the commission about the revised south elevation, we can approve, if they would like to make a motion to approve the COA as proposed.
Which is the one on the upper left. Yeah.
Which is also the applicant's preference.
Right. Are there any questions or comments about any of this proposal? Based on what I read, let me thank you and your wife for what time and effort you've obviously spent to do this right, and to do your best to conform with guidelines and specifications, citing your neighbors' architectural detail, and then meeting with Kate and her staff evidently a number of times as you develop the plans. That's exemplary, so we really do appreciate your effort to not only come back to Oxford, but to come back as the good citizen you obviously will be. Well, this might be one of our shorter meetings. Is there a motion that we approve a certificate of appropriateness for Mr. and Ms. Evans?
Hi, this is Virginia. I have a comment.
Virginia, please.
I do have some reservations about the stone. I personally think brick would be more appropriate for the neighborhood, but if the stone is approved, I just want to make sure that we approve a natural stone and not something that's cultural.
I believe they have photographs of the materials.
Yeah, those photographs you see came from Barden Stone Company in Memphis. So it's all natural stone.
Virginia, can you see that, and can the other commissioners see that, these photographs? Does anyone have a comment about this type of stone work? You folks are a lot less talkative remotely than you are in person.
Virginia, are you able to see those photos?
I am.
Okay.
And as I said, I personally, I think brick's more appropriate for the neighborhood, but if stone is approved, I just want to make sure that down the line that we maintain the natural.
Mr. Evans, were you drawn to this kind of rock because of the across the street neighbor?
Well, the architect had that in the original plan, and then we did note that the stone was consistent with the neighborhood because the house almost directly across the street has utilized that in a, I would say, in an accent way, and that's what this is. If you look at the house in total, 90% of the house is it's hardy plank. Right. That's an accent on the front around that bay window and the porch, and that's about it.
So the stone would appear across the foundation?
Just across the foundation of the front.
And then around the bay window?
Around the bay window area, correct. That's not stone, that's in that gable, on the tall gable, that's hardy shake material. The stone is on the smaller gable to the right over the bay window.
And is that, are those shakes on the larger gable, wooden shakes?
They're hardy cement.
Right, but to appear to be wooden.
Identical, you can't tell.
Cedar shakes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Does anybody on the commission have any thoughts or observations to make about this stone?
I'd like to know, again, if Kate is comfortable with it, with our regulations. I believe she said that in the beginning.
She is, yes, Kate. Katie's shaking her head, but she has already confirmed that that actually everything about the proposal is acceptable.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any other questions, concerns, thoughts that any commissioner would like to share? It's
this
okay.
Is Blair.
I'm sorry, say that.
Yes, this is Blair. I'm just, I apologize. I have some technology problems and I can't see the photograph. So that's why I'm so silent right now.
Well, if we do this for a long time, I think we're going to implement some new rules that when asked, does anybody have any comments, I'm going to want you to say no. Well, if there are no...
Lance, no comments.
Thank you, thank you. It makes us feel like we're not quite in the vacuum that it seems. If there are no other comments or questions or observations, the chair would accept a motion for approval of this proposal.
I move to approve.
Camp? Camp, is that you?
This is Lance.
That was
sorry.
Lance. Yeah.
Lance, thank you.
I'll second it.
All right, Camp's going to get in there and second it. So we've, the motion's been made and seconded. Are there any other comments or conversation? If
None
not,
from Kate.
thank you. If not, all in favor of approval, please say aye.
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 Okay.
I would have said by name, but I guess we can find that out now. Are there any votes against this? If so, please say nay.
Nay.
Virginia?
Virginia.
Yes, thank you. We have one vote opposing. Well, the majority is in favor, so your certificate is approved.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Is there any old business to come, other old business to come before this commission? Sure. You know, we did not meet in November, and in the interim, since we met, a case that we had not approved for the demolition of a house on Hayes Street. That case went to the Board of Aldermen, and in a split vote, the Board of Aldermen overrode our, thank you, overrode our decision, as is their privilege. But a few days ago I was walking, and I walked by this house, and it was at a point where I thought the commission might be interested in seeing what's happening. The house has been demolished. Here we go. But the front porch was still there, and the builder was standing there, so I asked if I could take a picture, and I think we'll all find it interesting that the house is definitely gone, but the front porch, the contractor's intentions are to keep it right there where it sits and reattach it to the new construction when the new construction is complete. He also showed me pictures of the two gables that were on the facade, the front facade of the house, that were in a shop being reconstructed. For what it's worth, I just thought I would share that photograph and that report with you.
Hey, Jack.
Yeah.
This is Camp.
Yeah.
I appreciate you showing us that. I think it's important to note that because of the way our process is set up right now, we didn't actually get to approve the final plan for the house coming back. But the final plan that was submitted was a complete reconstruction. So the placing of the original porch back onto the house is a change to what the Board of Aldermen approved. So this is what I've been concerned about, because we get taken out of the process the way this is set up now.
Yeah.
I think we need to be really careful, as does the city, and Kate, I know you're listening, to make sure that we don't allow them just to make changes along the way as they plan to, without us being involved in the process.
Well, I'm not really sure exactly what approval he's following. Kate can tell us. But if the plan is to recreate that house, which it's my understanding that is the plan. This porch, even though it's old wood, will look like the plan that of the reproduced house that we have seen.
So the plans that went before the Marion board are the same ones that you guys saw at the last meeting, where the denial to demolish the building was upheld. They did specify reusing portions of the porch in those plans. He didn't say that he was going to leave the porch standing and reattach it. Actually, he'll be retaining more of the original material than I anticipated based on the plans we received. But it didn't say they were going to fully recreate the porch in those plans. They were planning to retain and reuse what was usable from that front porch element. So I understand your point, Camp, but I think it does kind of comply with the plans that they submitted.
Okay.
Does that help?
I accept that, and I think it's a good thing that they're going to try to use the porch. My point being that we just stay on top of it. Make sure that they don't make other changes without permission, like jacking up the, foundation.
Yep, I totally hear you. And if any of you walk by like Jack did and see anything you'd like to talk about, you call up here.
You got it. So much.
Jack,
Yeah.
Jack, this is Lance. When you were talking to J.W., said that they had removed the gables, yet they were going to reconstruct the gables. I didn't understand what you were saying.
J.W., when I spoke with him that day, showed me a couple of photographs of I guess some of his people at another site with the original gables that were on the front of that house, and they were, working on them. And he just made reference to the fact that they were doing their best to preserve all that they could with those two gables to be brought back and put on the newly constructed house. Also there were engineers and people with a lot of equipment, and again, J.W. explained that the intention was to build the new house on exactly the same location on the lot that the original house had stood. So
I would point out, Jack, that oh, sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry, say that again.
They were using the porch as somewhat of a compass, so to speak, to build the rest of the house around it. Is that what you're saying?
I'm sorry, I'm about half deaf. What did he say?
Yeah, so
they were using the porch. They were going to keep the porch in its original location, so they could determine how the house would be rebuilt around that porch.
No,
in the same dimensions.
No, as I saw it and understood it, the porch had been pulled apart from the original house before the original house was pushed over, and it was bulldozed over. So the porch is knocking the corners of the house so that when new construction started, the house would be in exactly the same location, which would mean that when the porch is put back on, yes, it should be in the same location that it was previously.
Okay.
Kate, do we have anything else? Thank you for your attendance, and if there's nothing else, I'd hear a motion that the meeting is adjourned.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. See you on the 21st of January.